Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to another day of drawing with kids with Mrs. R. Today we're going to draw a really fun garden gnome. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and start by putting our paper portrait, and we're going to find the center of our page. So you know how we find the center of our page is we put our hand in the middle, and that's about the center. So we're going to start by working on the face of the gnome to begin with. We're going to draw an oval that looks like that. Let me get a little closer now that you know where the center. That's going to be his nose. So we're going to just draw a little oval like that. Then we're going to draw a funny little, oops, went too far up. We're going to draw a funny little mustache for our gnome that looks like that. So here's his nose and here's his little mustache. Okay, the next part is we're going to draw his face. So we're going to come out like this on both sides. Okay, and then we're going to go up a little bit like this, and then connect them here at the top like that. All right, next we're going to add 2 eyes and 2 big thick eyebrows on top of that. All right, and then underneath here we're going to add a little mouth, and then we're going to give him a beard. So it's going to come down like this to a point on both sides. Almost looks like we're drawing a picture of Santa, but we're not. Okay, make this side a little bit more narrow, I think. Come down just like a little bit like that. So sometimes we have to fiddle a little bit with our drawings to get them just how we want them sometimes. All right, so the next part we're going to do is we're going to add some ears, and his ears are going to come out about right here and right here. And we're going to put a little line in each one. And then gnomes have these funny little hats they wear. So we're going to draw, comes out like that. And it goes all the way up to a point like this. So they have these funny little hats they wear. Okay, so after you've got his hat done, it's just like an upside down V. Then we're going to go to drawing, giving him some little arms. So we're going to come out like this and like that. Draw 2 lines like that. And draw a line across like this and a line up. Same thing on this side, across and line up. And then we're going to give him little fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a thumb. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and then give him a thumb. Oops. Make that a little bit more round. Okay. And then we're going to give our gnome a little belt. So I'm just going to come across here like this. Erase that, make it more straight. And put a little square in the center here like that. Kind of make it rounded on the edges. And then put another square in the center. And then after we give him the belt, we're going to make his little ends of his shirt. And so it's just kind of this zigzaggy shape like that. And then my little paper down there, my little scratch paper. And then we're going to put a background behind him. So we can just make a line that comes across like that. And then we're going to add some legs. So draw these 2 little lines that come out like this. And little legs go in like that. And just like that. It's like an upside down U. And we'll give him these little shoes. Just like that. So there's our little garden gnome. And then we're going to add to our picture. We'll go back up to the top here and add a sun and a cloud. So just like that. Oops, let me fix that. And then just some rays coming out of the sun. Maybe another cloud over here, just like that. And then of course a garden gnome has to have some flowers in the garden, right? So we're going to add a couple of flowers up here. Start with a circle. Back out a little bit so you can see what I'm doing here. With some petals. Like that. And then just have the stem come down just like that. And then add petals. Like that. And then you can do one, maybe a little bit taller one over here. And you could even make it, so I draw a circle like that. And I'll show you what I mean by taller. You can make the stem come down here, like that, and then just make sure you erase the little center there so that the grass isn't going through the flower. And then add some petals here on there. And so there we go. We've got our little garden gnome. Pretty simple, but pretty easy to draw. Now, if you need a little bit more time to add more detail to your garden gnome, just feel free to rewind the video or press pause at any time. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start working on my Sharpie lines on my gnome. And just going over all the parts that I've drawn. I'm going to go ahead and color in his eyes. And then I'm going to add his ears. And then we'll do his hat here. And this. Going over all my lines. And remember, if you get off the lines, that's completely okay, because we will be erasing all of these anyhow, so it's completely fine. Just make sure before you put the Sharpie lines down that you're happy with what your picture looks like, because really at the end, all that's going to matter is your Sharpie lines, because that's what you will be using to color as a guide. Okay, I'm going to go over this like that. Around like this. And my final flower. And if you want to add more flowers to your garden, feel free. You could add trees. Pretty much anything that's in a garden you could add to this picture to make it more colorful and more fun. Okay, so now I need to go in and erase all my pencil lines. Just like that. So just go over all of my pencil lines or the Sharpie lines, and I'll erase all the pencil lines by doing that. Okay, so just get all those eraser marks away. Okay, so I'm going to start off by coloring our gnome's hat red. Just a good color, I think, for his hat. Okay. A lot of the times you'll hear about gnomes in children's fairy tales. A lot of the stories, not a lot, but some will have one of those stories about gnomes. They're like little elves, essentially, and they just live, people believe that they lived in their gardens. But, you know, with all fairy tales, we know a lot of these stories are just for fun. And so I'm just going to lightly color in his skin, that, and on his hands as well. Okay. And his beard is going to be white. I am going to make his coat, or his jacket here, purple. I think that'll look really good with the red. So just like this. Okay, and then the bottom part. And then I think I'll color his pants brown. Like that. And then his shoes, let's see. I think I will make those orange. Okay, and then I'm going to color his belt orange as well. And then I will do the buckle yellow. Okay, now as for my flowers, I'm going to color the centers yellow. And then color the petals. Like that. And then let's see here. What color? This one pink. I haven't used pink yet. This picture. And then let's do, let's see, lighter green. That. Okay. And then I've got to color the sun, make that yellow as well. And I will color the rays as well. And then last but not least, color the grass. And I'm going to pull out my scratch piece of paper here. Okay. So I'm just going over the edges here. Got my nice little scratch piece of paper here to catch all the leftover crayon that goes over the edge. And then I still need to color in my sky as well. Slow down a little bit by the edges here because I don't want to go over the edges too much. Up here. Okay. Turn my paper just a little bit. So make it a little easier to color these edges here. Going. Oops, coloring any of these little spots here that I see are still looking a little bit white. Oops. Okay, so then for my blue sky, I'm gonna grab a certain shade of blue that I really like here. So I'm gonna go around the sun here a little bit. So I'm just going around filling in the sky. And getting all my sky done here. Sometimes there's like, we're doing art, there's like times where there's no talking, right? Just because we're all concentrating so hard on our picture, trying to do a good job. That's why you'll notice a lot of the time when you're in an artist studio or you're taking an art class with adults or other people, it's pretty quiet because everyone's concentrating so hard on their projects or their art. They're putting all their energy into it, and so they don't really talk a lot. Okay, so just turning my page to make it a little bit easier to color around these little angles here. Okay. I'm just going to keep going. Out. Okay. All right, so last little bit here. Okay, let's see if I can go over this just a little bit and fill in any of these white spaces that I see. All right, so there is the finished garden gnome picture. I'm kind of excited to see what you guys come up with. So just make sure to take a picture, take a little snapshot of this and post it on Seesaw so Mrs. R can see what you've been doing and how your picture turned out. I'm sure they're amazing, like always. So until next time we meet, friends, have a great day, and I will see you all very soon. Bye, everyone.